up, War Gamers? John back here giving a little weekly Gaslands build. This time we got another team build. As you saw from my orc video, some of my closest friends, I'm making a little themed build kind of about them for a team. My boy Nate's with Mr. Dekai Studio. You know, we did his orc team. This one, because we have a super close friend of mine, she actually used to work at Disney. She was one of the opening cast members for Mission to Mars. I think Mission to Mars? Mission to Space? I want to say Mission to Mars. I think. It's got a red car and an orange car, a red car. It's got a blue car route and an orange car route when you gop on the ride. Disney people know. Anyway, she's Disney adult. She's big into Disney. Plus, it's always fun to do amusement park stuff. For those who play Fallout, Nuka World, it was a great time. So we're doing a little Disney themed build, and as a pun with the team, which will make it really nice, is already for the team name. I think I'm going to go with Team Murder Kingdom instead of Magic Kingdom, and then the initials stay the same. All right, so let's get into the cards here. First one first. This casting actually doesn't have a name on it. I got it at the park. I don't know. But for the first one, is we've got a bus. And I think we're going to call this one the Big Cheese. I was trying to find, originally I could have swore Hot Wheels had a rat-looking monster truck, which I was going to do like a Mickey thing. I kept the name from that just because it still works. But we have this big hunkin', I guess it's so big I don't really need to help it focus. We have this big hunkin' Disney bus here with a bunch of cool Disney characters on the sides. So we're definitely going to wasteland this up, you know, armor the windows, maybe put a cool gun nest and barbed wire on the top, I'm not sure. Probably definitely give it some beefier wheels. So I think, yeah. I'm trying to think. I think that's about it for this one. So, this one's in the bag. The next one we got is, because I'm kind of going, I was like, what's some real Disney, like, just point outs that'll really, you know, help put the theme together here. Before I forget, big thing about the team is we do have a custom team rule. It just allows us to mix and match sponsors. So the team is made of other sponsors. So like the bus here, I put as Highway Patrol because I don't know, nothing else really fit, and I kind of like the idea of the bus being a Highway Patrol. So like the Highway Patrol does all the Highway Patrol stuff, get like audience votes to the team and all that. So like basically every vehicle has its own kind of sponsor inside the bigger sponsor, if it makes sense. I almost forgot about that. So now this one here, for this ride, because they're all kind of based about rides, at least as much as I could. This one, the casting we have is a Hot Wheels High, which is this little short bus. Like the Hot Wheels buses aren't that big, it's pretty cool. But it's kind of just a flat box, really good to do stuff with. So for this one, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of put some sails, and I'm going to use this to make like a Pirates of the Caribbean kind of themed vehicle. And I think for the name we're going is like Tail No Tails or something. You know, whatever. It's definitely a Scarlet sponsor. So I think I'm definitely going to put like a cool prow like up on top of the bus with like maybe a little mermaid. You know, kind of pirate boat this thing up. The next one here is we have a Ford Model A Custom 31. You kind of get this old kind of Ford looking jalopy thing. This one we're definitely going to use. It's so old. We're going to do a Haunted Mansion themed one here, which I think we're going to call this one Grinning Ghost. Not sure yet. I'm going to have to look into maybe Thingiverse. If I can find some cool little print models of, what do they call it? Of the hitchhiking ghosts, might definitely have them kind of just spooking out the windows. But yeah, we're going to give this some ghosty vibes. This will be our Doom Buggy. I thought about calling it a Doom Buggy. I'm still mine, I don't know. By the time the video is done, you'll know if we decide between Doom Buggy or Grinning Ghost. So yeah, this is our little, and of course, It's Beverly Devil on the Highway themed. The next one here we have doesn't really need almost any work. It's really just a paint job here and there. We have, what is this car? The Buzz Lightyear XL01 from the, I almost wanted to say the real life, like the live action, but it's not. This is from that Buzz Lightyear movie they made that's supposed to be the Buzz Lightyear movie in Toy Story that Andy saw as a kid that got the Buzz Lightyear action figure. It was actually a pretty good movie, too. So we got this cool, already kind of spaceship looking car. So like I said, not much, maybe a little paint, a little weathering. Really not much to do this at all. I really like it. And of course, this little space car is going to be a Michigan themed. Oh, excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. Thought I wasn't. This is going to be a Michigan themed car. And I think we're going to call this one Starport 75. Now, this one's going to be based off of Space Mountain. And Space Mountain was the hardest one to try to find a good tag name so that people would get, oh, that's what you're talking about. And I couldn't really find anything really good for this one, so I just kind of went with that one as the first one I found. So yeah, not much to do with this one. The last car on our team is I have a backup plan. This is the backup plan. If I can get my 3D printer working again, because when I filmed this, my 3D printer is goofing out. I don't know what's wrong with it. I found a real cool file for the skipper boats for Jungle Cruise, because I feel like that's another classic. Even if you're not a big Disney adult or whatever, you know Jungle Cruise. So I thought, I was like, oh, what would we do? I was like, I could take a Jungle Cruise boat, put up on tank treads or wheels or something. And I think that one we're going to call Skipper's Revenge. It's going to be, because if you've ever been Jungle Cruise, it's kind of goofy, bounce around a lot. So it's definitely going to be a Rusty's sponsor, because it never drives straight, all that. I don't know. Rusty's really spoke to me. But if I cannot get my printer up and going, then I have this little raft here I got from some dollar store toy. And I think that'll be a good base. And then we can just kind of build essentially one of those little boats from this. So it'll be a lot of construction work. We'll really see. I really found it very nice with engine details of the little steam engine thing that's in the middle of the boat and everything. So we'll kind of see what we get. So let's just get right into that build. Alright, we're gamers. We're here with the big one of the team. We got our Disney bus. I think we definitely have some of these extra wheels here. So I think we're going to go with a big old 6-wheel kind of monster bus look. I'm not really sure what I would do. I definitely want to keep all this print. So I'm thinking maybe we'll build a gun nest on top with a couple dudes hanging out. We'll see how that goes. So anyway, yeah, enough jibber jabber. Let's get right into the build with this hunker. Alright, I think we're pretty much done here with the big cheese. Pretty much, we printed out these smaller scale chimeras, even though the tracks get all messed up. We covered it up by basically taking the side of the bus we cut out, put it on like a track skirt. Just kind of filled up some holes here, you know, for these windows. Definitely want to keep this paint job here with the Disney characters, really sell the theme. Just threw a little engine block here on the back so the back wasn't so plain. From I think it's from an Ort Killacan kit. And then for the front here, we got our harpoon, we got our ram that we rolled up, and a nice armored front here instead of just that giant window. As you see here, I cut the other window out to really give it like a housing for the harpoon. And I think there's much else. There's not much to say about this. So let's just get right into the prime time. Alright, Wargamers, we're here on the build table. We have the Haunted Mansion themed car here. Now, a lot of this is already done for us. I was looking around Thingiverse. I couldn't find any good hitchhiking ghosts like models, weirdly enough. But we got plenty of ghosts and skellies and whatnot, so we can make some hitchhiking ghosts coming out. So let's just get right into the build. I think we're pretty much done here for our Haunted Mansion car. We got 3 little Scullies that I'm going to paint with some ghost paint for our hitchhiking ghosts. And I kind of like this old, just kind of jalopy look to it. So I think what we're going to do is a lot of painting. Is I think I'm going to try to. I don't know how well it'll look. But I want to paint this purple and do the Haunted Mansion wallpaper print like all over it. So we'll see how well I can freehand that. But overall, I think this little Doom buggy is about ready for some prime time. Alright, War Gamers, we're here with our little raft for the Jungle Cruise build. Now, as of the moment, I'm still waiting on the part to get shipped. Excuse me, I'll be sneeze. Now, at the moment, I'm just waiting for the part for my printer to get delivered. So as we build, we'll see kind of how it takes shape. But either way, we're definitely going for like a raft on wheels for the vibe, so let's just get right in. I think we're pretty much done here. We got our Jungle Cruise boat. I just got a 3D printed. I found a great file for it. You know, added some machine guns to the front, little engine block, because I don't think that steam boiler is gonna cut it. A nice 8-wheel design here. I wanted to put crew on the inside, but for 2 reasons I didn't. One, I didn't think about that until after I glued the whole canopy on top. Now I could cut this off, re-glue it, which I thought about doing. The second reason I did is I couldn't really find any good crew members I wanted. Like, I wanted some like ones that kind of fit the look of like the skippers, but I just couldn't find any good crew members that would fit. So we're just gonna kind of go with it as it is. So that's about it. So let's get into some prime time. Alright, Wargamers, here on the build table with the Pirates of the Caribbean car. Now, I think we're definitely going to do is we're going to build some sort of boat prow on the front. Definitely a figurehead. Maybe a few cannon windows here and there. So let's just get really into the build. Let's just kind of see how it goes with this one. I'm not sure on the type of sails, but definitely some sails. So let's just get right in. Alright games, I think we're pretty much done here. We got our Pirates of the Caribbean build. We got our boat on wheels, if you will. 3D printed a lot of this just because I wanted a real boat look. Got a cool mermaid figurehead. And now the thing about these, which one is it again? The Hot Wheels highs, is they're just kind of a blank canvas. Is they're just a box on wheels, and it helped because it really gave me that boat shape. So we got our sails here. We got little firing platforms for crew. Got some cannons. So I think that's about it. I think what we're doing instead of front, just because I got these hunking cannons, I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna keep the 125 millimeter cannon, and just instead of front facing, we'll have it side facing to really give it that broadside attack. So I think that's about it. So let's just get right into some prime time. All right, Wargamers, we're here with the, almost said Buzz Lightyear, but that's the car. We're here with the Space Mountain build. This one, not much I wanted to do. I think it's pretty much good as it is. Maybe we'll use some blast guns or something, add a couple sci-fi little machine guns to it. So yeah, this one will be short, so let's just get right into it. Alright, I think we're pretty much done here. Like I said, it was a very quick build. We're just adding this little turn on. It's mostly going to paint, and maybe not even that much. But we got our little future machine gun here, a little laser turret. So this really works for our what do you call it? For our not spaceship Earth, Space Mountain build. So I think that's about it. So let's get right into some prime time. All right, Wargamers, we got the whole team here on the turntable. So let me get into some thoughts. For the team name, we're going with Team MK, also Murder Kingdom. As I said in the intro, it's for a friend. It's based off of the fact that she loves Disney and a huge Disney person. So we're doing like a special sponsor here. Not really like a special sponsor, but basically we're allowing this team to do mixed sponsors. So each car is based off of like a ride to kind of get that, you know, that Disney World feel. So normally, you know, you can't have mixed ones. So we have like a Scarlet car for Pirates of the Caribbean, Michigan car for Space Mountain, all that jazz. We'll get more into that for each car. But that's what we're allowing with this team, is we're letting it to mix sponsors. So yeah, let's get right into each individual car stat. All right, Wargamers, we're here on the turntable. Let's get into some stats. As far as theme is this one, I wanted to get, I think it's called a Radical Racer. It was going to be, you know, the big cheese himself, Mickey.
but I couldn't find the old Rat monster truck I've seen before. So I did my backup. I got a cool Disney bus. I just kind of, you know, chipped away at the paint of it. So let's just get into the stats then. Name-wise, as I said, we're going with the Big Cheese. The chassis type is a bus. The sponsor we wrote up was Highway Patrol. And as far as weapons and equipment, we have a ram and a harpoon. Perk classes, we have a speed and pursuit. And for the perk we wrote up itself, we got downshift. All right, Wargamers, we got the last car of the team here up on the turntable. This one's clearly based off of Jungle Cruise because I just printed out a ride vehicle. I actually found a file for it. But let's get into some stats. Name-wise, we're going with Skipper's Revenge. The chassis type is a car. The sponsor is Rusty's Bootleggers. As far as weapons and equipment, we have 2 extra crew members and 4 sets of Magnum pistols. The perk classes are Reckless and Built. And we actually have no perks at all. Alright, so this one here we got is based off of the Haunted Mansion ride, also one of my favorites. So let's get into some stats here. Name-wise, we're going with the Grinning Ghost. The chassis type is a car. The sponsor of these Beverly, Devil on the Highway. As far as weapons and equipment, we have a Death Ray. The perk classes are Horror and Built. And as far as the perks themselves, we wrote up was Violent Manifestation and Purifying Flames. Alright, Wargamers, this next one here, we have it based off of Space Mountain. As far as the paint scheme wise, going with the whole, because it used to have 2 queue lines. I think one orange, one blue. And now it's called Omega, Alpha and Omega. So I just kind of went with that theme, splitting it down the middle. But let's get into some stats here. Name-wise, we're going with Starport 75. The chassis type is a car. The sponsor is Michigan. As far as weapons and equipment, we have a oil dropper, a nuclear engine, and a heavy machine gun. The perk classes are military and tech. And then the perks themselves we wrote up was satellite navigation and loader. Alright, gamers, now we got this vehicle here for the team on the turntable. Now this one, I kind of went with, I tried to make it like a ride vehicle. They got looted. But this one is based off Pirates of the Caribbean, one of my favorites. As far as names, we're going with Tail No Tails. The chassis type is a truck. The sponsor is Scarlet. As far as weapons and equipment, we have a 125 millimeter cannon. The perk classes we got are tuning and aggression. And as for the parks themselves, we have Terrifying Lunatic and Fender Kiss.
Oh, what you guys are doing in my stack fridge out here in the backyard. But since you're out here, let me straighten you up a little bit. Since you're out here, let me ask you a couple questions. You like buying custom cars and whatnot? Do you like promoting small YouTube channels as myself? I don't know, maybe you just like buying some cool merch? Or perhaps even, do you enjoy some smooth jazz? Either way, open up an Etsy shop.
Just selling off all the builds to help promote the channel because I'm never going to use them in the games anyway. So I'm going to throw the link down in the description of the videos now. I got cool cars. Anything you see on the channel, buy it if you want. I'm thinking about adding some stickers and custom dice maybe later on. I got a message system set up, so if you want some commissions, like commission terrain or other, you can hit me up there too. So I think that's it for my short little ad shelling out my thing. So I'm going to grab my cheesy sticks and this Bex, and I'm out of here. See you later.